Hey everyone, welcome to another Throwback Thursday. I mentioned this in another video, Mark of Qayin by Asha Shedim. This is a book that I just got recently from eBay. It was kind of pricey, it was in the 100 range because it's long out of print. And the nice thing is the guy that sent this to me actually sent me this for free as well. I've heard mixed reviews about this one. So I haven't read it, but I have looked through it. It's pretty interesting. It looks like it's kind of Gnostic in a way, so it's definitely probably up my alley. So I'm probably going to do a review on this when I'm done reading it. But yeah, different author. So once again, I brought out all of my Asha Shedim books. This is probably the very last one that he came out with, published by Edgar Carvel in his fucking pathetic company, their series, Limited Esoterica. With these horrible quality photographs that he inserted. Apparently they're from Edgar Carvel. Most of the material in this book, of course, is kind of a rehash of some of his other ones, but it is pretty good. But let's focus on this one. So, the first thing I need to say is this book does not have anything to do with Qayin. That's right. I don't know why he named it the Mark of Qayin. But there's really not a lot of stuff in here. That really should surprise anybody that's already into the Lowland Society and Asha Shedim. There's maybe like one little snippet where he talks about the mark as being the serpent here, biting the tail, known as Ouroboros. What I really like about this one is he goes into the Drek thing. And he goes into more of like Order of Nine Angles type of stuff. Now, I know some people are probably going to, some of the lefties that, you know, on my channel, they're probably going to PC and act all crazy about it, but, again, this is, you know, part of the transgressiveness of the left-hand path. So he talks about what being a Drek means, and how you blend into regular society, and you act like an average Joe, basically. You have an average job, but you're also working against society. Basically, it's like a terrorism type of thing. It's a form of terrorism where you're just kind of inserting yourself into society, but you're actually really working against society. And tells you how to lie, what your body language should be, so that you don't, you know, using deception, so that you don't look like you're lying. He tells you how to do that. Of course, it talks about killing, which is very controversial for a lot of people. Goes on talking about the Blood Mother was just Baphomet. You know, not the goat-headed one that everybody talks about. The real Baphomet is more more like Kali here. So that's the real Baphomet. Not any of this Church of Satan, Life is Levi stuff. So, talks about different rituals, talks about human sacrifice, of course, which he says the only acceptable version of it within the society is doing it through magic. Because obviously homicide's going to land you in prison. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. We got a solitary ritual here. Here he's using the hendecagram, which I use a lot of times in my rituals. That's very anti-cosmic. The nice thing about his books is they're a kind of a combination of Order of Nine Angles and Misanthropic Luciferian Order slash Temple of the Black Light. So he even has a section here, Left-Hand Path Islam. So he talks about Iblis here, if you guys are interested in Lucifer and Islam. So when the Demiurge misled him to bow down to Adam, this is what he says, "Because you misled me, I shall indeed adorn the path of error for them on the earth, and I shall mislead them all, except your chosen slaves among them." So, yeah, some people are just born without the spark, and they're not really worth saving, is basically what he's saying. So, because you have sent me astray, surely I will sit and wait against them on your straight path. Then I will come to them, and before them, and behind them, and right and from their left, and you will not find most of them as thankful ones. No. So he kind of goes over how, some people are fire-born. They're not really born to submit. And they're naturally beings of the left-hand path. And he's talking about, like, the ones that, the ones that have the spark will follow him instead of Allah. So, whereas the mere clay-born people without the spark are going to be slaves to Allah. So, stuff about satanic flanking. The world's most violent religion. He talks about Kumbanda here. Not really in depth as much as he does with this book. He talks about Pitchfork of Mayoral Lucifer. This is actually in this book. Pitchfork of Mayoral Lucifer. So, and this one, by the way, is still available on Amazon. It's probably not going to be for much longer, though, honestly, because I believe this is Martinet Press. Maybe not. I don't know. This one's Martinet Press here. This one. This one is... I'm not sure what this one is. I thought it was Martinet. Yeah, it's still available, but it's like one of the few that is available. Talks about Lulu, commentary occurs, Rite of Belial, Ritual of Lulu, which is the sister of Qayin. Rite of Offering, talks about Nama, of course, Chavajov. For those of you not familiar with the whole Chavajov thing, Chavajov is known as Azerati in the MLO, Misanthropic Luciferian Order. That is the unknown god. And basically Chavajov is Jehovah backwards, basically. Or Havohich, one of the many names, Elacre, as well as Mayoral. So he states that the unknown god isn't really meant to be known as Azerati, because that was actually an error that the MLO made. Talks about chaos and all that. And then we get to some stuff that people probably find controversial. Ritual of the Inner Flame. Now, this ritual is found actually in this book as well. This one's probably my favorite one, to be honest with you. I don't know why. I just really like it. I don't like the size of it, though. I'm not crazy about the college edition size. That's the other thing. So pretty much it's the same thing. You look for a cabin secluded in the woods, and you create an altar that is similar to this. And you get you use a black mirror, and you get the candles and all that. It tells you the tools that you need. This is a pretty intense ritual. Pretty much the same, honestly, as what he talks about in here. I don't think he really rewrote too much of it. Now right off the bat, I really shouldn't have to explain to people why you would use a swastika. Okay. A swastika is a serpent symbol. It's a very powerful symbol. I use it in magic as well. I'm not ashamed, to say that I use it. I actually got this in an Indian place. So, yeah, I use it a lot. But lefties are always going to find this to be, yeah. They're going to always gripe about this. So, the person, this is kind of like a inversion of Abramelin. the mage. I'm going to be really honest with you guys. That's what I immediately felt that it was. Because he states that once you enter this place and you consecrate, you can't leave until you are done with the ritual. It's a long, drawn-out process. It's pretty intense. So you use animal bones. You use your own nail clippings, hair, your own blood, animal blood from a previous ritual. You know, he regularly sacrifices animals. Sexual fluid, you know, stuff from cemeteries, salt. So you have to spread salt in the doorway and all that and around the place. Just a long drawn out thing. Where you have to sleep inside the place. And then when you are done, he says you have to light it on fire. You have to burn the cabin, which could be dangerous. I mean, that could get out of control quickly. I don't recommend that. So basically, the individual is calling on a lot of these spirits to enter his body. This is very dangerous. I really don't recommend this ritual, honestly, to everybody. So you're working with the Citra Akra. He says that you have to create an Nganga for this, you know, mixed with grave dirt and, of course, bones. Hi, Cosmo. So a lot of meditation. Basically, the reason why you would do this ritual is to kill your compassion. Basically kill what makes you human, and then you torch the place so that nobody else can use it when you are done. Probably not good. And then he talks about Chavajov and why the MLO, or Temple of Blacklight, uses the word Azerati. This is taught through the equation of 218 equals Azerat. Azerati, 2 plus 1 plus 8 equals 11. They, in their brilliance, concluded that the word Azerati, which is just a group of letters, no real meaning, the name of the wrathful gods. So which I don't really subscribe with the unknown god, is all of the wrathful gods of the Qliphoth coming together. I believe they are separate. But that's a common thing with anti-cosmic, is they believe that's actually all of the Qliphoth. Talks about Luciferian eugenics, killing off the Claiborne, pact with Satan, doesn't teach you how, but he just talks about it as being ridiculous. Everybody does that, you know. And he's got a prayer to Qayin just randomly thrown in here. And then he goes into further with the direct thing. I don't know why he didn't put this in where he talks about the direct. I would think that would belong like over here in this section. Not, several pages later. All of a sudden we're going to put it over here. But it is what it is. Talks about propaganda, getting people into your side. All the tactics and recruitments for satanic terrorism. And then, in the very back of the book, we get the Satanic Grimoire Verum, which is sold separately, I believe, as a Kindle book. But if you want a physical copy, you can just get it from the Mark of Qayin here. And it's the Grimoire Verum that is inverted, basically. He took out all the stuff about Christ and God and replaced it with Lucifer. Lilith and Satan and all that, and clip off, deities and Lilith and all that. Basically, if you're familiar with the true Grimoire or the Grimoire Verum, you're not going to find anything too new about this book. But it is pretty cool to have for a Luciferian, because it is all geared towards Lucifer. Interestingly enough, though, I did find where he forgot to erase a manual. It could be that he, dumbass that he is, probably has no idea that Emmanuel is another name for Christ. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. The Satanists can be so cute sometimes. How they mess around with stuff. Then we got the 72 chaotic spirits of the Goetia. Or Goetia. Some people pronounce it like that. And I must say, I like his description of these beings. Some of them have, the Andras one has a rifle in his hand and a suicide bomber's vest on. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Some of them have pendecagram tattooed on their bodies. Then we got the seals here of them. And we have a nice interview here. Probably done with himself. To be honest with you. I don't know who would be interviewing this guy. Unless it's one of his fellow, Lilith Society people. But goes on, talks about his order, talks about the future of the Lilith Society, what you need to do to become a member of the books, He admits to rehashing and recycling old stuff. He said he doesn't want to do that anymore. And then we have useful spirits and Kambanda, Mbanda, and Voodoo. List of common demons, goetic demons, some chants here miscellaneously thrown in the back. And then what is the Lowland Society? So yes, in a nutshell, that is Ark of Qayin by Asha Shedim. And I must say there's more about Qayin in this book than any of the other books that I have by him. So what did I think of this book? I like this book, but I like Asha Shedim stuff. Despite the grammar, the weird spelling errors, the usual crap, that comes with his books. The fact that you're going to get maybe a rehash of like one of these subjects. Like with this one's filled with rehashes of some previous stuff that he did. But that's okay because a lot of it is out of print, and in order to get some of the stuff, you have to get some, you have to go here and get the stuff. Here, Book of Belial, for example, is long out of print, but it is found in here, in this book. So, it is what it is. If you have some of his other books, you probably don't need it unless you're a completionist or you're just a hardcore fan. Because honestly, like I said, a lot of the stuff is actually in this book too. But, so yeah, he talks about drunkenness also. Yeah, I mean, it's liable to piss off some people. Obviously the stuff about satanic terrorism and all that's going to piss people off. I mean, look. He's using his real name now. Let's see. John Putignano. I mean, it's Italian, so I'm gonna butcher that. He mostly writes fiction now. He does a lot of horror fiction. I know he's been in and out of mental hospitals a few times and stuff. It is what it is, It seems like his occult books are kind of, they have kind of a horror aspect to them, and it's hard to say how much of these rites he actually did himself. Some people say he actually didn't do any of these rites. He just writes it. Which seems plausible because, he does seem like an edgelord in many ways. But overall, I thought it was a good book. It's probably going to be the last Asha Shedim book I would buy, personally. You don't need any more after this. It's a nice bonus that his grimoire, his version of the Grimoire Verum is in the back here. So, it's kind of a nice bonus. Yeah, I mean, I would rate it as being a pretty good book for what it is. Would I recommend somebody pay $100 and something for it? I wouldn't recommend that. I think it was actually $200 I paid, which is outrageous for an Asha Shedim book. But I have a lot of disposable income lately because I make a lot of money here, so it is what it is. Yeah, I would not recommend somebody pay $200 for this. I think it's insane that I even went there myself. But it's got a cool cover, you know, cool cover art with Mott on the cover, you know. Back cover, you got kind of a same thing going on. Hi, Jerry. And like I said, you know, it's a nice bonus that I got this sent to me as well for free. So, you know, it's just some guy that's probably cleaning out his Satanism collection and, you know, just get rid of his stuff. But I don't know if I should go ahead and tell you guys, but I have, I made a purchase, from a cultist, you know, in a very shady way. Let's just say, you know, I don't want to say illegal way, but you know, I don't recommend anybody shop on the dark web or anything. So, yeah. But anyway, I should be getting some boxes in, or a box or something. I'm not sure how many boxes it's going to be in. So I'm going to do a review, an unboxing review, once I get it in. Where I'm just pulling out literally, I have no idea some of the stuff this person is sending me. So this is like one of those mystery unboxing things. So stay tuned. It's going to be... The only thing I know about this guy is he's been involved in this anti-cosmic, you know, Satanism stuff. And he does live in the States, so that's good. No import fees or anything. But, yeah, he's going to be sending me quite some interesting stuff. So, he's trying to get rid of it, so, we kind of, found each other online while I was, you know, kind of, using Tor, but I'm not going to go too much into it. So yeah. Anyway, hit like and subscribe if you like this book review. Thank you.